Hey guys, what's up? It's Dusty here, back with another crypto video, and today we're going to be talking about Ripple and XRP. Now make sure you press the like button on this video, because if we hit 500 likes within 24 hours, we're giving away $50 worth of crypto. So make sure you press the like button on this video, comment something down below, and have the notification bell on. And just to clarify, we will only give money away if we hit this amount of likes within 24 hours. Most of the time, we do not hit it, so there's no actual giveaway. If we do, you'll see a very cool live giveaway in the next video. Also, guys, don't forget to check out my second channel. It is called Dusty Finance. I have a couple of very cool videos on here that I recommend you guys all to go ahead and check out. How to invest $500 a month, how to get financial freedom like the 1%, how to make passive income with $1,000 right now. They're all advertisement free, so make sure you go ahead and check them out. I have a very interesting subject of today. And it's really about something that you don't see or cover or hear about every day. And specifically now that Bitcoin has gone up 8% within a day. And many people are trying to transact again. And these fees are going through the roof again. You must be wondering, what's the best way to send some BTC? Is there no quicker way? Is there no faster way? And yes, of course, we can always say, just use XRP. Because that's a possibility. Right? You can just skip BTC altogether and use XRP. And in the literal form, you can also buy some BTC on the exchange, change it over to XRP, send it away, and buy some BTC again. But let's dive a little bit deeper into that. Alex Copier went onto Twitter to say, XRP is the fastest way to send Bitcoin. When Bitcoin can't handle its transactions, the XRP ledger can handle them. Proof of work clearly has scaling limitations. They're going to need another way to send it. And then he has a very cool article attached to it on his own website. It says here, XRP is the fastest way to send Bitcoin, there's proof. The Bitcoin blockchain is very inefficient and is cost hefty when the network sees influxes in activity. Recently, when Bitcoin surged to almost 14,000, the transaction fee reached a peak of $6 per transaction. I mean, PayPal is usually cheaper to use than that. Not to mention the hours of wait time you'll be experiencing with the expensive transaction fee. When Bitcoin peaked around $20,000 in 2017, the transaction fee was literally $40 per transaction at some times of the day. And you also had to sometimes wait even a day for it to be there. I mean, I've never experienced really to wait a day, but yes, there was definitely some very long times. I actually used Bitcoin during this time to make a purchase of keyboard on Amazon and had to pay the monstrous fee. However, you can actually use any asset on the XRP ledger, such as Bitcoin, and you can indeed move Bitcoin through the XRP ledger. Take a look at this video from the 1.45 mark and watch it for about a minute, and you'll see the Ripple co-founder Chris Larsen sending Bitcoin instantly at no cost using the XRP ledger. And I actually have some more explanations behind it, because this video will most likely be quite vague, but I'll watch it with you guys for like 5 minutes because there's so much important stuff in there. But afterwards, I'll give you guys a little bit more deeper info about how this is possible, what's been going on, and yeah, just so you guys understand why this is actually such a cool concept. To quickly read this so we don't have to go back. Quite simply, amazing how interoperable, instant, and efficient the XRP ledger is. Even when it's not the native asset XRP, I would really like to see this trending in the Bitcoin community, because then if Bitcoiners have an alternative path that's cheaper, it will create competitiveness among the miners and cause them to lower their fees. Also, Bitcoiners would experience the benefits of the XRP ledger firsthand. When Bitcoin can't handle its transactions, the XRP ledger can handle them. XRP is the best way to send Bitcoin. Now, this last part works a little bit differently, but again, I'll explain more of that as we go further. Let's quickly watch this video, though, as it is definitely quite interesting. And again, go prepare your mind, as it will be some quite difficult lingo.
What that looks like. So here I have two wallets. These are open source applications that tie into Ripple, which is a distributed.
And one thing I also must add is that he'll call XRP Ripples at this point because it's a couple of years ago.
Open source will be open sourced protocol. In this one wallet, you can picture this as the sender, and the second wallet the receiver of a payment. Could be a merchant, could be a friend. You'll notice in this first wallet that I've got a number of different currencies. Again, Ripple is multi-currency. So let's start off with Ripple. Ripples are the native currency of the Ripple network. They're analogous to Bitcoin in that they are currencies without a central authority. So the amount of those currency can never be changed by any human. It's simply based on a math equation. There can never be any more of them. They therefore can never be debased. And they can be sent to anybody on the Ripple network without counterparty risk. So if I want to go ahead and send ripples to my friend, the other wallet, I'll go ahead and send 10 ripples and go ahead and confirm that transaction. Now the distributed system is going through a process of consensus. It just reached consensus, so that payment now has been made. That payment is permanent. It cannot be reversed. So merchants will like that. And again, there's no central authority behind that. Let's say I want to, let me show you in my wallet. I've got some other currencies. I want to send another one. Notice that I've also got Bitcoin in my Ripple wallet. Again,
we should, by the way, do a quick shout out to Bank XRP then for posting this video, because otherwise we might have not found it. I mean, I've not sought for it, I've not looked, but it's on his channel now, so a quick little shout out to Bank.
Ripple is multi-currency, and it's interoperable to Bitcoin. So you can use your Ripple wallet, you can use the Ripple network to also send Bitcoins. Let me show you how that works real briefly. So again, I'll send my friend, this time a payment in Bitcoin. I'll choose a small amount because Bitcoins are expensive. And it's going to calculate paths. And as you can see, I've got a number of currencies I can send. I'm going to go ahead and send Bitcoin. My friend will receive Bitcoin. Confirm that transaction. System's going through a process of consensus. Once again, reached consensus. So what I just did basically is I sent Bitcoin off the Bitcoin blockchain. So instead of waiting 10 minutes that you must in the Bitcoin paradigm, I sent Bitcoins instantly. One of my friends said, well, look, I don't like any of these new math-based currencies, Ripple or Bitcoin. I operate in dollars, just send me $1. Well, I can do that because I have a number of currencies, including dollars, in my wallet. I'll go ahead and send my friend $1. Again, we are totally multi-currency. Notice it's going to calculate a variety of options that I can send it in. So the merchant's going to get $1, and I can send whatever I want. So maybe I do actually want to use my XRP, my ripples. I'll go ahead and send ripples. My friend will get $1. It's going through, again, a process of consensus. And it did clear. So my friend received the $1. I sent ripples. Everybody is happy in this situation. How did that happen? Well, it's because Ripple has a built-in, maybe the world's first, distributed currency exchange. So anybody in the world can put a bid-ask on any currency pair from any issuer as they please. And I'll show you a little bit more on how that looks. As you may have seen when I was calculating other currencies, it was trying to find a pathway. Ripples are the native currency. They don't need pathways. But any other currency, including Bitcoin, needs gateways and pathways. And I know this is a complicated concept, but essentially that looks like what you're seeing right here, which is a gateway. Let me bring this up one more time. Okay, so that's a gateway with pathways. And like any financial network, you can send a payment to anybody who has a trust relationship with that particular financial network. And this can be expanded, so I can expand that to see what the other trust paths of other networks are. You can kind of picture these as two separate payment networks. And of course, then when I'm making a payment, let's go ahead and put $50 in here. I'll make a payment in this network in dollars. I'll go ahead and pay that in Swiss francs. And you should see that payment move between these networks. And there it goes. So that makes sense. Just like any payment network, if you have a trust path, you can make a payment. But what if there was no trust path between these two payment networks? In this example, there is no direct connection. That's not a problem in Ripple. And this is maybe the biggest advantage of the Ripple system, is that it federates the payment systems of the world. So I can go ahead and execute a payment between these networks in a currency that does not have a direct trust path. And go ahead and do that. You should see that clear. And there it goes. So we think that's maybe the biggest opportunity with Ripple. It federates the world's payment systems, and that's what we're particularly excited about. So we are actively looking for partners. We're looking for gateway partners. We're also looking for software developers that can develop other applications on the Ripple network. It's an open protocol. We don't charge fees to use our system. You don't have to license anything with us. Look at Ripple like HTTP for money. Thank you very much.
How he says it like that. Look at Ripple for HTTP for money. It's really strange and really peculiar how this can actually be done, right? But now there's a couple of misconceptions and a couple of weird ideas that you might have with such a situation. So I went over to Reddit to see what some of the other people in the community or in other communities actually said about this, because again, you should not have the wrong ideas. And again, I do not have all these specific answers, as even to me, this is really something I had never thought about, and it's really something crazy, but there's some people talking about it. So, is it possible to send BTC over the XRP ledger for increased transaction speed? Well, we already knew that it was possible to a certain extent. And watching this video, we also knew that it was really possible in the literal form. But he says, I've done a quick search and I can't seem to find a straightforward answer, so have I. In theory, it makes sense using the XRapid model, where BTC is converted to XRP, then transferred over the XRP ledger, and then converted back to BTC at the destination. Or would this still be hindered by the slow transaction time of BTC, thus providing no benefits? Again, this is kind of what I sketched at first, where you have an exchange, or you have two exchange. Let's say one exchange or two exchanges, doesn't really matter. Let's say you have two exchanges. You just send your XRP or your BTC over to XRP, then switch it over between exchanges, and then send your XRP to BTC again. You know, that creates a benefit because there's no transaction time between the two exchanges, but there's still the transfer time, and maybe that's still what they do not want, is the exchange that needs to be quick. But they're all plain. But there's also something different. So Raid here says XRP has a built-in decentralized exchange. So yes, you could also use interledger protocol to do it. It's a bit technical though, and not very user-friendly for people who aren't semi-knowledgeable about tech. And then somebody else says XRP ledger, not XRP. Also, so that's about to talk about the DEX. Also, you'd be sending Bitcoin IOUs, which in the literal form is IOU, not native Bitcoin. Kind of like having two accounts on Coinbase and shifting coins between them instead of transacting exactly on the chain. The difference is that each party can choose their counterparty. And then Raid also says, sorry, yes, that is a good correction point to make. Again, that it's XRP ledger, not XRP. Then somebody asks, what does DEX stand for? Decentralized exchange. He has a link to swapping BTC and Ethereum in seconds, keep your private keys private with Kava's Labs. Let's quickly press that as well. I've checked the link already, so it's fine with this one. Let's quickly go through. And it says here again, swap BTC and Ethereum in seconds, keep your private keys private. And it was a very big discussion about this back in the day, where you could switch your currencies in a matter of a second. And everybody's like, how can that happen? How can it be done? But yeah, it kind of is the same way that we are seeing everything like this right here. Again, you can read up through it if you really want to. But let's continue on with our Reddit. He says, all right, forgot about Kava's Labs. For people who don't know, this is using IOP, not the XRP's ledger's decentralized exchange. And again, there's a difference. Sir Tricleman says, though, in short, no. You can trade IOUs around on decentralized exchange at the speed of XRP. So that's, again, you can trade the IOU, meaning you owe somebody, so to speak. Again, IOU. That means you don't really have anything. You just owe somebody. You have like the depth obligation or something to make it simple for people to understand. But to cash an IOU out to actual Bitcoin, so to really use it now and have it in your hand, the Bitcoin, requires a final transaction where you surrender your IOU to the original issuer, the gateway, and then the gateway transfers the Bitcoin to your selected Bitcoin wallet. This redemption step is an on-chain Bitcoin transaction between the gateway and your Bitcoin wallet that is subject to usual Bitcoin transaction speed and costs. The decentralized exchange and gateway system lets you create IOUs to represent any asset that you want, which can then be traded at the speed of XRP. For example, you could theoretically make an IOU for a residential house by doing a real estate sale to the gateway who generated an IOU for the property, and then transfer the IOU around on the ledger. That's, again, really mind-boggling to me how that can actually work, but it does make a lot of sense in my head. Whoever eventually wants to settle and claim the IOU would have to initiate a normal real estate purchase agreement when they redeem the IOU within the gateway, involving solicitors and whatever else is necessary in your legal jurisdiction to finalize the real estate transfer of the property from the gateway to yourself. In other words, gateways hold custody of assets and generate IOUs on the ledger, which can be later redeemed from the gateway for the digital asset, for the original asset, which entails whatever the normal transaction costs when the asset is originally surrendered to the gateway, and again, when the IOUs is redeemed and the asset received from the gateway. Gateways exist today that can issue IOUs for the usual suspects when it comes to fiat and cryptocurrencies. But somebody else says, depends what you are cashing out for. To get Bitcoin on the Bitcoin blockchain, yes, but to get cash one can just deposit it to Bitstamp and sell the Bitcoin IOU and withdraw the cash to their bank account. But again, that was not the question. The question was how you can speed up Bitcoin transactions through XPL, not how you can cash out the fiat via the XP ledger. Sure was, but I was replying to your reply, which discussed redeeming the IOU, to just add some information to show how I can utilize the XP ledger with a Bitcoin IOU and never need to worry about the Bitcoin blockchain to redeem its worth in fiat. Again, it's really crazy how this all works out, and it's something that I have not thought about for a very long time. Again, I think we had one discussion possibly on the channel with one developer a long time ago, but that's already, I think, more than 2 years ago on this channel. So again, we've not covered it in a very long time, and it's definitely something that I think was worth a little bit of a mention, and it's still open to a lot of debate. I mean, if you guys have some info that I've not covered here, you need to let me know in the comment section down below, because it is not complete by any means. I swear, I have so much stuff to cover. So yeah, let's continue on, and a couple of things is like here. Wouldn't that mean you're just using the ledger as a messaging system? The settlement part will still be required on the ledger, but pure and all of that, you know, there's so many questions that are out here, so to speak, but I think that we should just kind of leave it for right now. Look into the comment section, and I'll try to heart some of the comments that have something to do with the real subject, as, again, I'm no expert in this. I like cryptocurrencies. I like to read all about them, but it's really kind of scarce to find information that directly correlates to this. So, again, if you have some cool articles, make sure you send them to me on Twitter or on the Discord. I'll just want to read everything about it, but I just need to find it somewhere, right? And I could not do it too good, and even this can sometimes become a little bit more difficult. But hey, hopefully you guys got a good idea about how it goes on here and how it is really possible what he just said right here. It's not just some fake theory. It is really true. It's something quite crazy, I find. But also, guys, make sure you press the like button on this video if you enjoyed it. Make sure you check out my second channel called Dusty Finance, and make sure you understand that this is not financial advice, just for entertainment, educational purposes only. I'll see you guys again in another crypto video.